Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the Algebra 1 concept of graphing inequalities. This is standard A.3D in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 47 off the 2016 released STAAR test. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. So we need to find the graph that represents this solution set right here. Y is greater than or equal to negative 7/2 x minus 2. Now, we actually are in luck a little bit because we already actually have this in our slope-intercept form. So when it looks like this, the y is isolated over on the left. We have the slope, right? We have the y-intercept. The only difference, obviously, is that we have the inequality greater than or equal to rather than the equal sign. But that still gives us the slope, that still gives us the y-intercept. So what do we know about these inequalities? Well, they act just like linear equations, except we're shading one side or the other. Now, how do we know which side to shade? Well, if you have a greater than or equal to, or you have a greater than, then you are actually going to shade above the line. If you have a less than or equal to, or a less than, you're going to shade below the line. Now this one's kind of difficult because this line is almost vertical, but above is going to be here, below is going to be here. Just think about just kind of leveling it out. If it were just kind of like, if we kind of rotated it down this way, we could see which way is up, right? So this is above, this is below, this is above, this is below, above, below. The other thing we know that is if we have a greater than or a less than symbol, it's going to be a dashed line. That means you cannot include whatever is on the line in the solution set. It goes up to that point but does not include that point. If you have a greater than or equal to or a less than or equal to, you have a solid line. That means you can't include what is on that line in the solution set. So knowing that, let's see what happens to our answer here. Well, we've got a greater than or equal to, which means I'm wanting a solid line, right? I'm needing this solid line right here, which means A is out because it's got a dashed line. I'm wanting that solid line because the equal. B is okay, let's question mark it. C is okay, let's question mark it. D is out because it's got a dashed line. Now, let's look at the greater than or equal to, or the less than or equal to. I've got the greater than or equal to, which means I'm going above the line, which means B looks good. Look how C shaded in below the line, which means C is out. So without even doing anything, it looks like B is going to be my answer, but let's double check. Okay, so let's pick something that is supposedly in the solution set. All right, so you know what? When in doubt, make it super easy. Let's use the origin, 0, 0. Okay, we're going to plug that back in. Y is greater than or equal to negative 7/2 x minus 2. Plugging in the 0, 0 should create a true statement. So 0 is greater than or equal to negative 7/2 over 0 times 0 minus 2. That becomes 0. So 0 is greater than or equal to negative 2. Okay, yeah, that's a true statement. If I were to find one over here, it should be a false statement. And so it looks like, look, see that negative 1, 0? Outside the solution set. So I'm just going to replace it here. And I'll replace it. My y is going to still be 0. But now it's going to be negative 1. So 7/2, negative 1 minus 2. That 0 is greater than or equal to, that's going to be a positive 7/2 minus 2, which is 3.5. That's really 0 is greater than or equal to 3/2, which is false. So there we go. My answer is B.